Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Are you ready for a little driveway fountain pop? As these vlogs have turned into. Let me get my lip gloss on here for a second. Where is it? Where is my lip gloss? I see it. No, that's hand sanitizer. More hand sanitizer. Sitting in here. Oh, I brought this lip balm tonight. I'm gonna leave that out. Up here it is. I used it for the video today. That's right. So how are you guys doing? Well, it is currently 1:54 a.m. and I just got up a little bit ago. Here's my fountain pop. I'm so excited for my fountain pop. I did have a Diet Coke earlier. Oh, I can't put that can there because, well, I'll move this can over here. I just got up a little while ago. I fell asleep, well, like, probably 20 after 1. I laid down at like 11. My sleep schedule is like so completely screwed up and all over the place. And I really, to be honest with you, I really don't care. Like, I'm still like getting a lot done during the day. So the fact that I am, sleeping weird hours, I'm, to be honest with you, kind of okay with right now. My husband's actually still up right now. He is in the kitchen, and he and like 3 girlfriends are having like a little wine date, talking on the phone from all over the country. So before I put this lip gloss on, I'm gonna put this other lip balm on. So anyway, he's having a good time talking to his girls that he hasn't talked to in a little while. And, isn't this so fun? I reviewed this on my review channel. I think it's so fun. Can you see it? If you can see, it's like a little rubbery. And then look at the inside. And, oh my God, we both got up about the same time today. We both got up about 12:31. I didn't go to bed last night until like almost 6:30, if you want to consider that last night. That was like yesterday morning. I didn't go to bed until like almost 6:30. I stayed up and I must have gotten off here really late last night because I went in and I watched like an episode and a half of, it's so hot. What do I have the heat on in here? 74. Turn it down a little bit. I watched like an episode and a half of that Tiger King. I think I'm on like episode 5 or 6 tonight. No, I can't be that far because I still have 2.5 episodes. So I'm on episode 5. And then I was like still not tired. I didn't finish an episode. I got like half of the way through an episode. 6 and 7. I have 2 episodes left. I just started episode 6, which means I got halfway through episode 5 because tonight while I was eating dinner, I watched the second half of it while I was sitting there. Alex was watching Sabrina and I was watching that on my iPad. And but anyway, I couldn't sleep last night. Like I was just like not tired. So I made a cup of Sleepy Time tea and I put honey in it and coconut milk. And I came and I sat down on the little glider. We have like a little glider slide, a little glider, you know, swing chair, it's like a couch kind of thing. Settee on our front porch. And I sat outside and listened to all of like the birds chirping, and it was so peaceful. It was just like absolutely peaceful outside, and I was just like this just overwhelming amount of like peace and serenity came over me. It was really nice. And I noticed this early this afternoon. I mean, I'm sure it's not the same. If you've watched this for a long time, you'll know. Is this thing out of focus? I can't really tell. So I have, today I put in was it today or yesterday, I put in my new contacts. And before, I was wearing like one of each, but I ran out of my old prescription. So, I have both the 2.75s in right now. So I can't tell if it's out of focus or not, because it's like hard for me to like read. Or it's hard for me to see that close. I have to wear my readers literally for everything now. For the computer, for reading well, if I hold it out far enough, it's good. But like for the computer, it hurts my eyes. And like reading for a long period of time. Like I could read the meditation books in my Peterson's video, but this morning when I was like sitting reading like several meditation books, or when I got up today, I had a hard time doing that. It started hurting my eyes. So I'm gonna have to wear readers all the time now when I, because of these new contacts, which she told me. She said if we go up, you're gonna have to wear readers all the time. So I sat outside and it was, but anyway, it was just really, really nice. Now, this afternoon when I was sitting out here, I noticed a bird that looks just exactly like Mrs. Bird. Remember Mr. and Mrs. Birdie from last year? So if you didn't watch my vlog from a long time, if you haven't watched it for a long time, we had a bird last year that she made a nest on our carriage house next to our door, and I named her Mrs. Birdie. And Pee-Pee and Boo Radley were like kind of obsessed with her, especially Boo Radley. And then she had these babies, and I would like every day, like I would look and see how the babies were doing, and I did video of it. I took video of it and stuff. And I still have the video on here, and Boo Radley, so she had one baby that was in the very back, and I named it Steve. And Boo Radley, Steve was his friend. And, hold on a second. I have the video, I think, saved. Anyway, Boo Radley, Steve was his friend. And he was very upset when, here you can see, here, I'll show you. Well, it won't play because, so I don't know if you can see. It won't play because of the sound in here. It's like, where do I have the whole Boo Radley? So I did this little montage of the birds last year, and the nest, and everything. Let's see if I can find this. If I put this on, I have to put it on my auxiliary cord thing. Okay. Will this work?
Don't even worry about it.
Okay, so let's see if you can see this.
Where's your baby brother, Steve?
Okay, hold on a second. Let's see if you can see this first of all. Like it's like, can you see this? Okay. How do you hit play on this thing? I don't know what I'm doing.
I told you, don't even worry about it. I'm my own person. Well, where is he? We're traveling around the world. Don't even worry about it. I'm taking him out of this hellhole. Quit following me around with that camera. I don't like the paparazzi. You know I'm a famous person. Boo Radley, I'm just trying to, hey, I'm having a spa day here. I'm gonna take my baby brother Steve on. We're gonna have a spa day. Boo Radley, oh my Lord, look at all the babies. They're so hungry. There's Steve in the background. He wants some worms. There's Lois. Hey, Lois. There's Louie. And there's Linda. She seems like she's asleep right now. Hey, Linda. How are you doing, gal? Steve said, where's Boo Radley? I'm ready to play. Lois said, who is this person up here right now? Why are you bothering us? I want to see my baby brother Steve. Where is he? Where is he? I want to see Steve. I want to see my baby brother Steve. Where's your baby brother Steve? I told you, don't even worry about it. Why are you following me around with that camera? I don't like the paparazzi. Boo Radley, where is he? I'm about to rescue him out of this hellhole. Don't even worry about it. We're our own people. We're going to go to Hawaii and eat pineapples. We're going to snorkel. You are. We're going to Texas and we're going to do the boot, scoot, and boogie and get in the rodeo. You are? Boo Radley. He's my baby brother. He's my baby brother, not yours. Leave me alone.
So that was the saga of Boo Radley and Steve. Hold on a second here. Come on, focus. Oh, I should have known that this camera was going to do this after I... So anyway, that was, we'll see if it refocuses here, and if it doesn't, then I will stop the camera and restart it. It's refocusing. So that was the saga of Boo Radley and Steve. That was my first dramatical documentary that I ever put together. But anyway, and I have all these videos of little Pee-Pee. Oh, little Pee-Pee. But, so, last year, Alex was not happy about this bird, okay? Alex, oh, it's Nora En Pure. I love her so much. She's my favorite DJ in the entire world, Lake Arrowhead. So Alex was not happy about this bird because he was like, well, first of all, we had to be real careful when we went inside the door, because if we walked inside the door, like, she would come flying out, like, every time we would walk in. And so he's like, we can't even walk into our house because of this bird. And I thought it was real sweet, right? And then there was Mr. Birdie, and Mr. Birdie started coming after she, like, because she was on her nest all the time. She would sleep on there late at night. And, like, when I would go in and I was done with vlogging, I would be like, hey, Mrs. Birdie. I'd be real quiet. I'd say, it's just me, Boo's dad. I'm not gonna bother you. So anyway, because Boo Radley was kind of the guardian of the birds. So then she had her babies. Oh, okay, this was also the other reason, because Alex is like, I was telling these stories about Mrs. Birdie and whatever, and I was telling, like, all of our friends, like, jokingly, I was like, you know, we would go out to dinner with Melissa and Jason, and I would give them updates on Mrs. Birdie and stuff. And Alex is like, you think this is really funny, but, like, you're getting really, I need to, you know, my lights are off. He goes, you think this is really funny, but I can tell you're getting really attached. And when these birds are gone, he was like, this is going to be an issue. And I was like, no, it's totally not going to be an issue. I'm not attached to these birds. Well, I got quite attached to these birds. Like, really attached to these birds. And I was really sad when they left. So anyway, today I was sitting on the front porch. Well, so Alex said, I don't care what we do, but we have to do something so that they don't come back next year. He's like, I can't have the birds on the carriage house. Which at first I was kind of like, oh, because they want, I guess they, like, build nests, like, twice in a year, or they use the same nest to lay, like, several eggs or something. I don't know how it works, but anyway, because she started flying back over there again and, like, putting little sticks in, like a month later or, like, 2 weeks later, she started coming back and, like, putting more sticks in. She was trying to, like, make another nest. And Alex was like, I don't care what you do, but, like, we can't have her come back up there again. He's like, I'm just not going to go through that. Oh, the other thing was, like, every time that we would come home, there would be, like, all kinds of sticks and mess, like, on the ground, and just, like, tons of bird poop. There was, like, all this bird poop. Like, and he was like, you need to clean it up, because you're the ones that want them here, so you need to, so I had to clean up all this bird poop, which it's a real mess to clean up bird poop off the cement. So anyway, I don't think those Scrub Daddy sponges probably work real well for that. So anyway, I just remember putting, like, dishwashing soap down there and then just, like, hosing it down, and that it just took, like, forever to do it. But anyway, so she kept on kind of, like, trying to fly back, and then I would come home and there would be, like, a few more sticks there. Do you guys remember this from last year? So anyway, like, I Googled, because I really honestly, like, I didn't know what to do. And our carriage house, like, it's not the word, the carriage light, sorry, is, like, flat on top. Like, we have these outside here, and they're not flat on top. They're, like, sconces, and they're, like, these out here are, like, this big. But the ones right by our door are, like, they're, like, square. And I was like, what am I gonna do? And so they said something that I read said to put something sharp up there. And I was like, I don't like that idea. I think that's kind of mean. So anyway, I found a rock in the yard, and I put a rock. So we have, like, a rock up there now that's been up there ever since. It just sits on there. And she hasn't come back. But today I noticed there must have, like, the reason why it was, like, a perfect place to build a nest was because it was underneath our, so, like, when you walk out of our door, there's probably 2 or 3 feet of, like, overhang above that, like, you can sit underneath and, like, it won't rain on you and stuff like that, like a front porch. And so it was underneath there, and it was up close enough to the top that, like, no other birds or anything could come down and get, like, her little baby birds. And so I think it was real safe because of that. Now, I don't know where they made a nest. Do you know what I'm wondering is, do you know how they have those things, like, I'm looking over at my neighbor's on top of her garage, which would be, like, attic or crawl space, and it's, like, one of those, do you know what I'm talking about, those things that, like, has, like, a lattice in it? I'm wondering if they're flying in there and they've built a nest in there. because they swoop up and they go like towards the roof, and I can't really see where they go, but they're taking stuff to build their nest. And it's both she and he. Anyway, it's real sweet. I'm sure it's not them again, but I'd like to think that it was Mrs. Birdie and that she was back. What did Tanya say to me today? She said, not sparrows, but what did she say? There's a lot of, she said, oh my God, I'm seeing so many, whatever they are, whatever Mrs. Birdie was. But anyway, so that's the saga of Mrs. Birdie. She's back around here somewhere. I wonder what happened to Steve. So I got up, and then I got the vlog going and did my well, first I did my meditation. No, first what I did was I came downstairs. Alex was making breakfast. He was making his avocado toast with he makes it with chicken, but he was like, do you want me to make you some too? And I was like, I'm not really that hungry, because I had eaten half a bag of chips last night with onion dip. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, I'm gonna make breakfast. So he was making his breakfast, and then I've kind of like, okay, so here's my schedule now. It's like I kind of get up and I do my meditations and have coffee and get going, and then I'm like trying to take a shower like before I go do anything, because it kind of gets me going for the day. And then I come downstairs and like I film my videos, and he works or he watches TV. Today he worked for a while. And I'll explain that in a second. And then like after I'm done with all that, or like in between, I like call some people and I kind of like try to touch base with what's going on. And then I usually like eat dinner with him, or like just sitting there watching TV with him. And then like he usually goes to bed early. Tonight he's up late, but he usually goes to bed early. And so then I will lay down and take a little bit of a nap. I'm really enjoying my naps, and Boo Radley is coming up there with me every night and taking a nap, which is real sweet. So I'm really enjoying that. That's kind of like my schedule for the day. And then like, you know, after I get up, I'll like stay up and, well, I come out and vlog, and then I'll stay up and like watch a couple TV shows or whatever. So it's real relaxing right now. Today was really, really relaxing. So I did that, and then I made my iced coffee. And Alex was in the kitchen, and he was cooking, and he was talking to somebody on the phone. I can't remember who he was talking to. I think maybe his brother, Fufu. So I came outside. It was like so nice today, you guys. It was like in the 50s. It was beautiful. Tanya said she thinks it's supposed to rain the next couple days. I'll look at the weather in just a second. But anyway, it was so beautiful outside today. And I sat outside, and I did my meditations, and I did my prayers, and my gratitude list, and my affirmations. I just felt so balanced and centered today when I woke up, just so peaceful. I will say, and I said this yesterday with my allergies, what is really sucking is that like every single time like I cough or, you know, whatever, I'm like, am I getting sick? Like, I'm like real worried about it like that. But I feel physically, I feel great. So my stomach was kind of hurting a little bit, but I also think, or that was way earlier today, but I think that's probably because I'm just eating such total crap, you know? And then, oh, I just hit something on my car and changed it. I don't know what I did. So anyway, so then, who did I talk to early today? I talked to Tanya, and I talked to like a couple of my other recovery friends. Well, she's not just a, you know, but people that I know from meetings, and just kind of touch base. We talked about our meeting last night and stuff. And then I came inside, and I think I put up my, that's when I put up my vlog, and then I took a shower, a really nice shower, and did my hair, and then I came downstairs and I made videos, and it like, I'm kind of got this groove going with like making the videos. So I did the drama video, which I wasn't even gonna post because I wasn't even gonna do another drama video today because I had done my Q&A yesterday. Maybe that's why it just like, it seemed to just go so smooth today, because I didn't have to. I was, you know, I like to post something every day on that channel, and I didn't have to, because I already had that thing up there. But then I was like, oh, I'm gonna make another one because some stuff had come up. And I had fun doing that, and then I was actually gonna wear, well, I wanna save that. I was gonna wear a little costume today. But then I did my Peterisms video, and I did my booktube video, and then I put the lights over by the table and cleaned up the area, and then I did my peer review stuff video. And then when I got all those videos up, by that point, it was late. It was like, I mean, not late, but I want to say it was like 6-ish, 6:30, 6-ish, it was like 6. And, so Alex was upstairs and he was still working. He worked upstairs all day today, doing a bunch of stuff in the bed with the dogs. I posted a picture on my Instagram and on Twitter with him with the dogs. But he was upstairs all day today working with the dogs while I was working on videos. And then, I called and talked to Valerini. Hey, Valerini, for a while. It had to have been later. Did I talk to her after because we took a walk? I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Maybe I talked to her afterwards. So Valerie went to Meijer today. Because today was like the first day, like officially, like of lockdown as of last night, you know? And so she, like, but you can only go to the grocery stores and places like that. So she needed some stuff. So she went to the grocery store, and she said there were literally, like, she went to Meijer, which is huge, like a Walmart or a Target. And she said there was only like 10 people there. And, but she said that they did have like vegetable and like they had produce, like she got like bananas and some stuff like that, she said. So that's good to know that they have that there. And then, oh, by the way, I did want to say this. Did I do it yesterday, the day before yesterday? I can't remember. It wasn't too long ago. But I changed my P.O. box thing so that they're going to deliver stuff to my house now. And I did it online, and then I called, and I said, it says on here that it's going to take like 7 to 10 days to have stuff delivered. And she goes, oh, no. She's like, it'll take like 2 to 3 days. She was like, as soon as you like switch it over. So, I don't even know if I have anything over there, but that will be that stuff. Well, I do know that I have one thing, because Tanner Kearns came out with t-shirts and merch, and he sent me one, and he was like, did you get it yet? And I was like, well, I'm not checking my box. So that will be coming, which I can't wait. He made t-shirts, and I say, hey ladies, on them. So Tanner is, God, how old is he now? Probably 27 or 28. But like, I ran across one of his videos like when I first got started, and I was like, oh my God, this kid reminds me so much of myself when I was his age. Anyway, Tanner and I became good friends. He's a really, really nice guy, and he does like videos where he'll like he'll redo his like apartment, and so he just recently like moved into like a new apartment, so he's like showing how to redo stuff, and he like makes cakes and whatever. He's just such a really nice guy. And I'm thinking about his friend that made the logo for his t-shirts. I'm thinking about having him maybe just do like a simple logo for me that just says Good Judy's on it. But anyway, he's just a super nice guy. So I do know that shirt, because he's like, let me send you a shirt. I said, I would have bought one. He was like, no, I want to send you one because you've been so nice to me. I've shouted at his channel a lot in the last couple of years and stuff. So he's always like, no, you're so nice to me. I probably gained him not even 10 subscribers through the years, but he's a super, super nice guy. So, and like a really good person too. Like, oh, it's going to stop. Hold on a second. Okay. I'll link his channel below if I remember. If I don't, it's Tanner, T-A-N-N-E-R, Kearns, K-E-R-N-S. And he's like a really good person. Like, really good person. He has like a younger sister, and, you know, he's like always like making sure that like, he used to like do stuff like, she loves Miranda Sings, so he would like buy tickets and like take her to go see Miranda Sings, and he's just a really good guy. He's like a good person, you know? And I think there's a lot of good people in the world, and I think that's actually like, you know, to be like a nice or a good person versus being like an exciting person, or, you know, like a whatever person, you know, like somebody that's like edgy and like, you know, has all this and has all that and whatever. It's like, to be good or to be a nice person, I think it's funny, isn't it? That that's not like like, we don't look at that as like this great attribute in society, you know, today. Like, we're more awed by like somebody that has this or has that or is super exciting or travels here and travels there, you know. But I actually am real impressed with people that are just really good, nice, down to earth people, and he is one of those people. He's just a fantastic human being, and I just am so thankful to call him my friend. So I will link his channel below, but anyway, he has these t-shirts coming out, and so he sent me one, and it's like pink, and it says, "Hey ladies" on it. I'm really excited to get it. So anyway, but he texted me, and he was like, "Did you get it yet?" And I said, "I'm not going to the post office." So when that comes, I don't know, I haven't really got anything at the post office for a while, so I'll be surprised if I have anything if they deliver it, but... So yeah, so that should be in the next couple days, and then, what else did I do? Oh, so... well, I don't know when I talked to Valerie, but I talked to Valerie, and she went to Meijer, and she said there was like nobody. She said there was nobody at Meijer, but there were actually people out. And I was like, there's people out on the roads? And she said, yeah. And Tanya said the same thing, because when Tanya was coming home from the kennel, she said there's, she said, what is going on here? She was like over there just like doing like stuff on the, what do you call it? Like on the, they're just doing like construction work over there right now, because they don't have any dogs. And she was like, so she was doing like laying, I didn't really understand what she was saying. She was like laying gravel all day outside. Anyway, because she said it was such a beautiful day. But when she was coming back home, and she lives real close to it, and she said there were a lot of people out on the road, like more than, you know, she goes, but maybe they were all coming home from work, I don't know. But so yeah, what else? Oh, so then Alex was like, do you want to take a walk with the dogs? And I was like, at first I was kind of like, no, not really. I mean, I was like, yeah, the idea of it sounds real romantical and nice, but like at the same time I was like, okay, first of all, Boo and Tucker don't walk on leashes. They don't like, I don't know if I'm like completely out of focus. I hope I'm not for this whole video. It kind of looks like I am, but I can't imagine that I am. But anyway, Boo and Tucker don't really know how to walk on leashes. Like, they know how. I mean, they're not idiots, but like, they don't, like, we don't walk them on leashes very often, right? So they're just not very used to it. And the only time that we really do walk them on leashes is like when we take them to the vet. And so they're just not used to it, and they kind of resist, and they kind of just stand there, and they don't really get it. Like, they don't get the idea of a walk. Do you know what I mean? Because we just let them go out back, and then they just like run around for a half an hour or whatever. I gotta like get my glass. I have like half of like a reading glass. I'm gonna see if it's like, well, now I can tell that it's focused because the light just went on. Maybe I have to keep the light on. Maybe that's what it is. Has it been out of focus all this time? I'm gonna be so over it. It doesn't matter. Most of you guys just listen to it anyway. So, but then I was like, no, I need to get out of this house. This will be good for me. You know, it'd be nice to spend some time with Alex, like taking a walk and whatever, like out of the house. So, like we went for a walk down the street. We actually went really far. We like walked for an hour, and the dogs did really well. Boo Radley was like terrified the entire time, and every time a dog would bark, he would just like cower up against us. Tucker did not get it at first whatsoever, and literally from like here to the gate, like barked the entire time. And Alex was like, yeah, you're just talking, aren't you? You're just talking. I'm like, yeah, he's talking real loud. So anyway, we walked like outside the gate, and then like up a street, and like way over, and then we went down this dead end street, and then we came back down this other road, and then we like went down this one side street, and then like around, and like way down this one road, and then like came back into our division. And so it was like an hour. It was beautiful outside. Now, I have to tell you, outside today, like when I was, because I was sitting outside several times today, there were a lot of people walking and running, like a lot, and bicycling too. There were a lot. But tonight when we walked, we passed, I think like one couple that was on bicycles that were older, and then one other couple, and that was it. Those were the only people that we passed, like actually walking on the street. But it was later too. We like left at like, I think we left at like 7. I must have talked to Valerie before that. So we left at like 7 and we got back at like a little bit after 8. So what was interesting to us was that we saw several people that were having like neighborhood cookouts, or like they had friends come over to cook out, where in the driveway they were like cooking out, and there were like easily 8 to 10 people sitting there cooking out. And then on one street that was kind of by where my aunt used to live, there were these 2 soccer goals set up in this yard, like real soccer goals, and there were probably 10 kids that were, I don't know, all under the ages of 10, and their parents were all standing out there. I mean, it was a huge crowd. And I was like, I'm kind of like really surprised. And then there was another group that we saw that they were cooking out as well. And they were like all standing in the driveway. It was like this big group. And I was like they were all standing like close together. And I was like, this is strange to me. Like, I don't know. I just like, that's strange to me. Like, my friends and I and our family, like, we aren't seeing anybody. Like, we're not going near anybody. This is just us. It's our choice. But like, we're not seeing anybody. We're not, I mean, I'm not seeing Tanya. Alex isn't seeing Sarah. We're not seeing our families. Like, I don't know. It's just really strange to me, you know? And Alex and I were talking about that, but I guess it's their choice, you know? The other thing that was really, this was cute though, was that you can tell it's like somebody that's younger, like in junior high or something. Somebody has gone through the neighborhood, because it's all the same writing. And, like our neighborhood has like a name to it. And so it's like, it says like to the neighborhood, like walkers and / runners. And then like there's like, it stops and it's like every like, I don't know, like 10th mailbox or something, or, you know, something like that. There's like a white piece of paper, like taped, like to the mailbox, and it'll say, okay, like 10 planks. And if you are really feeling a challenge, or it'll say like plank for a minute, if you're really feeling a challenge, do 2. And then it'll say like 15, dear, you know, walkers, runners, like 15 jumping jacks. And so they've like set up this whole like workout course around the neighborhood. Some kid. Is that not the sweetest thing? I loved that. I told Alex, I said, that's so sweet. He goes, well, get down and plank. And I said, no, I'm good. I said, no, I'm good. He goes, well, I would too, but not on this gravel road, because we have gravel roads around here. And, God, I just, you know, and the other thing was, like, I grew up in this neighborhood. This was, like, my aunt and uncle's neighborhood. Not this right here, but, like, outside around us, because we're kind of hidden inside of a neighborhood. And I forgot how beautiful the houses and the lawns are around us. I mean, just absolutely beautiful, beautiful houses and yards. And it's just so, and the trees are all really huge and mature, and just, it's a beautiful neighborhood. It's just really, really nice. And Alex and I just had like, we had a great conversation. We talked about stuff that like we wouldn't talk about if we were just like sitting inside, or if we were at dinner or whatever. We started talking about all kinds of stuff, and I was telling him about my mom and I taking walks, and he was asking me questions, and then he was telling me stuff about like when he was a kid growing up, and then we talked about some financial stuff. You know, and like, and instead of sitting there at home and having this real serious conversation, we're like talking about it as we're walking, you know. And it was like, and I said some stuff, and he was like, yeah, I agree. And then like, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And it kind of went back and forth. It was like a really nice conversation. And so when we got back, I said, I really enjoyed taking the walk. Like, I think we should do that every night. And he goes, yeah, I agree. And he goes, how would you feel about not stopping it, like, once this is all done? And I said, I think that's great. And he was like, yeah, I think in maybe like those conversations that like we need to have. He goes, because it seemed like we had like, because we had some like decision-making conversations like while we were walking too. Not like long ones, but like it seemed to just kind of flow easier. You know what I mean? Like, when we were there, like when we were walking, he was like, I think that might be a good time for us to kind of have those conversations too, because we're both like walking, you know, whatever. So I said, I think that's a great idea. So we're going to continue to do that. It was, as long as it's nice outside. I think it's supposed to rain sometime in the next couple days. I hope tomorrow is the same temp as it was today, though, because today was beautiful outside. And it was sunny, and the birds were singing, and it was so nice. Okay, it says it's 49 right now, but my car says it's 61 outside. Yours is 49 and clear. Oh, it says tonight it's supposed to be 63 and 46. Oh, that's interesting. Tomorrow, 64. Oh my God, the temperatures, went up. Okay, tomorrow, 64 with the low of 51. Friday, God, it seems so weird that we're almost at the weekend already. Friday, 60, 56. Saturday, 67. Oh my God. Sunday, 54. Monday, 55. Tuesday, 51. Wednesday, so next week's gonna be a little bit cooler, but it could go back up. Who knows, right? Possible record-breaking hole in the ozone, huh? So anyway, it was a good day. I listened to a little bit of my audiobook, but not much of it today, but I am loving that audiobook. Oh, I did say that today, though, because Alex and I were talking about, this was another thing that we talked about on our walk, is that we'd like to have, like, more shows to watch together. And so, I said, well, I'm listening to The Handmaid's Tale right now. When I'm done with it, why don't we start watching the show together? Although I can already tell you that I think the sequel that she wrote is called The Testaments. I can already tell you that I'm going to want to read it as soon as I'm done with this. This book is so fantastic. It's so well written. It's so exciting to read. But at the same time, like, it's just, like, it's an important read. I don't know if the show is the same way. It's going to be really interesting to see how the show is portrayed. But I'm loving the book. So... yeah, I think we're going to start watching that together when I'm done with the book, which I should be done with the book. I have like 8.5 hours left, I think. So I should be done with the book. That's like 4+ hours. I should be done with the book by the end of this weekend, no later. I can't believe it's Thursday already. It feels crazy that it's like... Do you guys, like, wonder when they'll just decide that we can, like, go back, like, to normal? Like, how do they decide that? I was thinking about that today. I was like... It was like, how do we decide? Like... I don't know. I'm not... Like, at first, I kind of go back and forth, I guess. Between... Like, today, I didn't feel like I had cabin fever whatsoever. But I also think that it was because it was so nice outside. And so I could walk outside into the yard. And, like, my neighbors were walking by and I was, like, waving to everybody. It just felt like a summer day outside, you know, or a spring day outside. It was nice. But, although it was weird because today would have been the day that we would be coming back from Miami. That was weird. In all honesty, like... right now, other than the shit ton of groceries that we bought, like, I'm saving a lot of money, like, because we're not going out to eat, and we would have gone out to eat, like, 3 to 4 times a week, so we saved all that money. And I'm not really, like, at first, like, I was buying stuff on Amazon. Oh, another one of my puzzles came today, and a book that I had ordered, a graphic novel called Ember or something. But I'm not, like, really spending any money. I'm not getting on anything, and, like... Thank you to everybody that told me that I should buy the cologne if I wanted to. Let me tell you what's really funny about that cologne. So, like, after I looked at it, I was like, oh, you know, I don't need this, whatever. So then I went back the next day because I just wanted to see if, like, the sales had gone down, because I was talking to Valerie and we were both like, well, if they're at 25% and the stores are going to stay closed, eventually, like, these stores are going to go down to 40%. Like, it's going to go down again, right? Or 30%. So I was like, if it goes down to 30 or 40%, I'm going to buy it. Because, like, that's an unbelievable deal. And I'm going to eventually buy it anyway. Because, like, this is what I use. So I go on there. Did I tell you this already? The prices had gone back up. And all of the ones that I wanted were gone. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously? Yeah, next time I'm just going to buy what I want. I wonder how I got so obsessed with, like, lip products. I mean, I know when I was a kid, because I had such horrible chapped lips. I used to wear the Vaseline that my dad got the nurse to allow me to wear to school, and everybody was jealous. But even then, like in the summers and stuff, I would always use like, do you remember like the roller things? I have some actually in there that people have sent me. The roller things of like the Dr. Pepper that have like the metal rollers on the end of it. I used to use those. I used to have the little containers that were like this that you would slide open. Dr. Pepper, it was always Dr. Pepper or root beer. Those were my two flavors of lip balm when I was growing up. I would put on lip gloss like nobody's business when I was growing up with the metal ball. Like, I loved it. And I can remember when I was probably 7 or 8, like in that summer, we used to, all the kids would play baseball in the cul-de-sac in the summer. My house was like one of the houses on the cul-de-sac. And the girl across the street, her mom and my mom were like best friends. And then these two guys down that, like, they were real like tough guys. This is the other thing too that was really weird, was that on my street, because there were like, okay, so it was us, the house to the left, those kids were too old. Like, so when I was like 10 or 12, like their son, like their daughter was probably out of high school, and their son was, like, they had a son that was like a junior and a senior. And can I just tell you that those two guys were probably like my first crushes ever. Oh my God, which cracks me up, because, so, they are, like, she was friends with my mom, like, her entire life. So, like, I would see pictures of them, like, as they got older and got married and whatever, and I would be like, I can remember, like, having crushes on them when I was, like young, like 12 and 13, you know? And I would be like, I would look back and I'd think to myself, what were you, like, why was that the crush, you know? But anyway, and then, so the neighbors to my right had like 6 kids, and they had a pool and a tennis court and everything. It was fantastic. But we didn't really ever, like, it's so funny when I look at that, like, we didn't ever go over there and go swimming or anything like that. But their youngest daughter was one of my best friends. And then the family across the street, she had a son and daughter from her first marriage, and she was remarried, and that was my mom's really, really good friend. And so her daughter and I were really close. And then the next house down, like, they were older and they didn't have any kids. Well, if they had kids, their kids were like my age now, because they were like 70s or something when they lived there. And then the next house was where it was my mom's like lifelong friend. She, the woman across the street, and that woman were like friends for their entire lives. And she had 2 sons that were like hockey players. So anyway, there was a bunch of kids on our street. And I had like lived on one like private, it wasn't like a private drive, it was like a cul-de-sac, and we probably had 10 kids total on our street. But here's the real thing that was, the thing that was real interesting about it was we had a real mix on our street, you know, of like tough kids, this, you know, whatever. And I look back on that, and like nobody made fun of me. I was just totally accepted as one of the kids on the street, even by like the toughest kids. I look back on that and I think about how funny that was. And I can remember wearing like my terry cloth shorts in the summer, and I had like the matching, like, you know, what do you call it, tank top, or I wear like, you know, just like little, I can just remember, and like, I had the feathered hair, the perfectly feathered hair with my lip gloss, and the, you know, the socks pulled up to your calves with like the Nikes on, and like we ran as a group. Like, we literally ran as a group on that street, you know? We would walk up and down the street, and we'd go up to somebody's house, and, oh, Mrs. Smith, yeah, is Johnny here, can he play? You know what I mean? Like, and we'd sit in people's yards, and we just, like, pull the grass apart, you know? And every day we would play in the cul-de-sac. And I remember my 2 girlfriends and I, we would sit out there, and we would sit on the electrical box, because there was an electrical box between my house and my neighbor's house that was, like, always, what do you call it? Like, not first plate, but what do you call that? First base, but what do you call it? Home base. It was always home base, right? So it was like right behind home base. So we would sit there and we would like chew our Hubba Bubble Bubblicious bubble gum, Big League bubble gum. We would chew it, and we would like smack it Oh my God, my dad would go crazy for me smacking that gun back in the day. You know, and we would do that, and we would walk up and down the street, and it was like the three of us. It was like me and my two girlfriends, and we were like kind of the girls of the street, you know, and nobody said anything. Nobody cared. Nobody looked at me weird or anything like that, you know. We played baseball with the kids too. We did. And, but like we liked to just sit there and we would talk, and we did this thing. I remember this one summer. Well, let me see what year it was, because it was the year that Poltergeist came out, because I can remember we all went and saw Poltergeist. We went to the Woodland movie theater, which was two movie theater screens. Okay, this movie theater that I grew up in. And when you walked in, it was like you paid for your tickets like outside, and then you went either to the right side to go see a movie or to the left side. And like on a Friday night, it was usually like an R-rated movie and a PG-rated movie, because parents could go with their kids, and you know what I'm saying? Okay. And then when you walked in, the concession stand was in the middle, so depending on what side you were was okay. Then you went to your movie theater. Well, I remember one night, like our parents, we all, like they took us and we all went and saw Poltergeist. So what year did Poltergeist? I'm gonna say it came out. Would I have been 9? I would have been 9. I feel like it came out in 81, which would have meant I was 9 when it came out. Poltergeist. Original year. This is gonna be interesting. 82. June 4th of 82. So I was almost 10 when it came out. That is so funny. I would have been 10 later that summer. I probably was 10 when it came out. I'd probably just gone to see the movie because it was probably out for a month. And if you've ever seen the movie, like she goes into the light, Carol Ann. Well, do you remember when they come out at the end and the mom and her come through that like pink stuff? So we would take our gum and we would like pull it as far as we could, then we go like that and suck it out, and we go, come to the light, Carol Ann, come to the light, Carol Ann. Oh my God. We used to have so much fun doing that. We would play for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I mean, we would get up and that was like the first thing we would do, you know? Is just go outside and we would see like, and whoever was like just the first one would be like, you know, shooting hoops in the driveway or whatever, or I'd go across the street and be like, hey, can so-and-so come out and play, or is she ready yet? And if not, I'd go in there and, you know, the mom would be like, do you want a glass of juice? And I'd have a glass of juice, and then we would like go and get somebody else. It was so fun. I had magical summers growing up. I really, really did. And I think that, you know, like, I don't know if those kids' parents told them, like, you know, Peter is Peter, you know, just like leave him alone. But they never looked at me different. They never treated me different. They were awesome. And I think that's why school was so, it's gonna stop, hold on. Okay, I think that's why school was so, like, hard for me, because I wasn't used to it. I mean, like, some of these kids were, like, tough kids, and they were always nice to me. And when I saw them at school, always nice to me at school, too. We're always like, hey, Peter, how are you? You know, I mean, there was no fakety BS. And I'm so thankful for that, you know? And, we would also, like, I had a tree house in the woods, and we were in the woods a lot, because our houses all, like, had a woods completely around it. Like, our street was, like, kind of, like half the street was in the woods, and the other street, if that makes sense, like, we backed up to the woods. And it was, like, a deep woods. And, it was, like, a long distance before you got to the other street. And, that was on the other side. And so, probably, like, a mile. So there was a creek that ran right behind my house, and just tons and tons of woods, and we would play in that creek for hours. And in the tree house, my dad had built me this tree house that had like actual steps that went up to it, and we would play out there, and then like I remember we would go in for dinner, and we usually in the summers like ate over at each other's houses for dinner, you know, like the moms would make like spaghetti or something. We'd all eat over at like one person's house, and then we would go back out. And the thing is, like, so my mom and like two other friends in the street, or like my mom in the summers always had people visiting, like Susie. And so like if Susie was visiting, like her daughters just came and played with us, you know what I mean? And but like I can remember so many of those summers when we would like be outside playing around, catching lightning bugs. Do you remember that? We would do that. Or we would just be like sitting in the yard talking, like drinking those like old like juice. Somebody said what they were called on here not too long ago, those juice tumbler, those plastic things that had the metal on the top of them, you know? Or, you know, we would just like sit out there, and I can remember like my mom and her friends would sit on, like, we had like this brick courtyard, and she would sit on the brick steps coming out of the front door, and she and her friends would just sit there and like drink a beer in the evenings and smoke cigarettes and like watch all of us kids play. Or sometimes she would put her speakers, they were always saw my mom as like the wild, because my mom was like the first person like in anywhere around us that got divorced. And So they always saw her as kind of like young and wild and whatever, which is so interesting to me because my mom was not that young and wild. I mean, I think she was 28 when she had me, and they got separated when I was like 6. So what is that? She was 34, 35 going through that, you know, but like, she would like put her speakers in the library windows and like crank open the windows so that like she was playing like Thelma Houston and Fleetwood Mac to the streets and stuff. Everybody thought my mom was so cool. Like back, all the kids were like, your mom is so cool, you know? But she would just sit there with her friends and like they would drink a couple beers and smoke a couple cigarettes. And then, you know, like I remember one of our neighbors, his mom had like a bell and she would ring it, and it was always like at 8 o'clock or something. And so like whenever that bell rang, like we knew, like she would, it was like, it was loud, like a cowbell. It was like on her back patio that she would ring it. And then that meant like, I mean, we were outside, like we were not inside. Like this whole thing, like it's like it's a new world, like kids being inside. I mean, we played video games sometimes, like the Atari and stuff like that. And I had a Nintendo. I still have it in my basement, the original Nintendo with all the games. But we would play that stuff, but like only at like maybe like if we slept over at each other's houses rarely, or like if it was raining outside or snowing outside. But like typically, unless it was like dead of winter or if it was pouring down rain, we were inside or we were outside. Like I saw like lights back there. It was weird. Like we were outside. A, because we wanted to be, but B, because I think like our parents really pushed it too. And we're like, you need to be outside, you know? Like I can't imagine just like not wanting to go outside when I was a kid in the summer. Like my mom would not have been cool with that. She would have been like, you need to go outside. You know what I mean? Like that was what you did as a kid in the summer, was you were outside. And just running all day, like, and having a blast. So I remember this neighbor, the one with the cowbell, her husband's actually really good friends with my dad. They work together. And she used to have these hot dog buns that were so fantastic. They were kind of like a little bit harder than a regular hot dog bun. And like in retrospect, I'd say they were kind of like a little bit, like, I wouldn't say gourmet, but like higher end hot dog bun. They were kind of harder, but they tasted like almost kind of a little sweet or something. And we would go over to her house, and I remember she had those things that were like, I don't know if people have these anymore, do they? I just actually bought, the last time I went to Costco, whenever it was, or late last week or whatever, I bought paper plates and paper bowls because we've been using paper bowls around the house a little bit for like dip and stuff like that. So I thought, you know, that would be easy for right now. And, are you guys, okay, here's something that's weird on a side note. Are you guys accumulating more trash than you usually do? Like, we're never, like, at home hardly. Well, like, I am, but, like, to eat and things like that. Like, our trash has to go out tomorrow. We were like, how's it gonna all fit in the trash? Because, like, you know, we have, like, a state trash can or whatever. Like, we're going through so much trash and, like, running the dishwasher, like, every other day. We have a small dishwasher anyway, but, like, we're running it, like, every other day. Like, that's crazy. Well, maybe every third day. But, I said something to Alex. I said, we are, like, going through, like, trash like nobody's business. Like, this is crazy, you know? What was I gonna say? No, I totally forgot. But anyway, she had those, like, they were kind of like wicker, I think, or something, where you would put like the paper plate inside of it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it was like, they were like paper plate holders, and then they just like made the paper plate nicer, you know? And then like you would put them inside of it. And she would give us like a hot dog and like chips and like a pickle. And that was like our lunch, or like potato salad or something, like a cookie. I remember we would sit there, and some cookie that she had, I'm thinking it was like an oatmeal cream pie, but it wasn't like that. It was smaller than that. Whatever cookies we had, she used to have them in this, they came in like little plastic wrap. I don't remember what they were, but I do remember that she used to get the Schwan Man, and I was always so jealous. And they would get the tall Schwan. Do you guys know what the Schwan Man is? So it's like this delivery guy service. But like they make all their own food, and you just like order it through like a catalog, I think probably online now. And I still see the Schwan Man trunk, and they deliver it. But back in the day, they would have like these big bins that were like Mike Sells potato chips. Do you remember that? And then they would have like the big bins of like chocolate chip cookies. And I remember she always got that stuff, and I was so jealous because it would be sitting on the counter when I went over to her house. And I always wanted it. My mom was like, no, that's a waste of money. That's what she always said. That's a waste of money. She also said the same thing about cereal, because my mother was always like, generic cereal is just the same as like, I'm like, no, it's not. It's embarrassing too. But I always wanted those little cereal boxes. I've told this story on here a million times. You know what I'm talking about? Where you get like 8 in a pack and they're different flavors. My mom never wanted to do it because, first of all, can I just tell you that it took me until years later to realize that you actually you cut that open and you pour the milk in there. Did you know that? I did not know that until years later. You guys are all like, yes, we knew that. But my mom, she would say, and it was so true, she's like, there's only like 3 in there that you'll actually eat, which was like Captain Crunch, you know, Frosted Flakes, and I don't know, Cocoa Puffs or something like that. The rest of them were like Wheaties and stuff, something I didn't want, you know what I mean? And she's like, you just like the idea of it being small, which was so true. I loved anything that was like miniature when I was a kid growing up. I don't know what that's about. That's so weird, isn't it? I loved miniature books. Like whenever we would go to the library, I would always take out the little miniature books that were like this big. I was obsessed with them when I was a kid. I have tons of them in the basement. I'm sure that's a surprise to you that I have them in the basement. But my mom would buy them for me as gifts through the years. I have like, the Little Bear. I had the Little Bear like whole set, all like the little books. I just loved little books. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, cheers to the summers past. Those were good times. It's so weird that I remember them so vividly. You know, I'll like say stuff to Caroline, and I'll be like, Caroline, do you remember what that? And she'll be like, I don't remember anything that you're talking about. Like, I remember on the weekends, we would go over to, I didn't really get this until later, but we spent, like, every weekend that I was with my mom, and probably every weekend that I wasn't with my mom, she was over there. Almost every weekend we spent at my aunt and uncle's house, and, which was like this neighborhood over here. Maybe not every weekend, but a lot of weekends we spent over there. And we would come over on like we wouldn't, well, actually, I don't remember how many days we would spend over there, but it seemed like quite a bit. And, but like we would like, you know, my aunt would always have people over and she would have like dinner parties and just like make a big chili dinner and have everybody stop by and whatever. So it was always fun. It was always a lot of people there. And then like in the evenings, I would go to bed and I would sleep on, Caroline had this little day bed. I think I would be terrified to sleep in this bed today. I look back on this and I can't believe that I wasn't like scared back then, but I would be terrified today. Caroline had like a queen size bed, and then I remember it had this like peach bedspread on it, and my aunt for the longest time had green Kelly green carpet, and then she had it all pulled up when she redid her house. She had like an entire wall taken out. So like her living room and like kitchen like all became this huge great room. It was very cool. This was before they moved into the condo after my mom passed away. But like she had this Kelly green carpet through the whole house and I loved it. But then she had it all ripped up and she had like this brown Berber put in. But before that, I remember my cousin had this like peach bedspread and like this Kelly green carpet in there, and I loved it. So anyway, Caroline would stay at her friend's house a lot on the weekend, so I would just be there by myself, right? So I would sleep in this little day bed. It was like a single, like, or a twin, you know? And it was in the window. There was like a bay window, because my aunt and uncle's house was all one story with a basement. And so this day bed was like in the window, the bay window of the bedroom. And I can remember laying there and like I'd always sleep with a fan because I have to sleep with a fan right on me, you know, and I would have the fan right on me and whatever. And I can remember like, you know, my aunt would come in there earlier and she would like make a whole bed out of it for me and everything. And I was so cozy, like in that little day bed. I loved that day bed. And if Caroline was there, we would like talk, like we would whisper to each other and whatever. But I can remember I was like never scared. There was like blinds you would pull down, and I can remember like looking behind the blinds out into like the courtyard. And so like all the houses in this neighborhood have huge yards, like huge yards, right? And their driveway, you would like pull, it was like a circular driveway. So you would pull in, and then there was like a tree in the middle, like this huge tree. And then it had all these stones around it, like these rocks. And Caroline and I used to climb this tree. And then you would like drive around the tree, and then you would come back the other side, you know, the driveway. And there was like a space that you could park like right in front of like where Caroline's bedroom window was, and then the garage was to the left, and it had like 2 car spaces in it. And I can remember, so like I could look out and I could see into the driveway like late at night and whatever. Today, that, I'm getting scared right now talking about it. Today, that would terrify me, okay? To sleep in that little day bed. But I was never scared. I was never scared. I can't believe it. I can't believe I wasn't scared, but I wasn't. crazy when I look back on that. It's kind of hot in this car. Let me lock my door and roll down my window. The air feels so nice outside. Last night when I got done vlogging, it happened like sometime while I was done vlogging, I looked over and my neighbor's lights were on and he was up already in his kitchen making coffee. And well, I don't know what he was doing, but he was up sitting in the kitchen window like when I walked in. Oh, what a weird world we're living in right now. I think about all that, how it was growing up. That you can't just drive over and see somebody, you know? Anyway. That Tiger King show is out there, isn't it? Oh my God. Are you guys watching this? It just gets weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. And, I swear to God, all these people that own animals have some like weird story to them. Like, other than that Carol person, every single one of them basically has like, are in like these relationships with 3 and 4 people. Which to each his own. But I just think it's interesting that like, there's like 3 different people that all are in like polyamorous relationships that are all in the same business. Like, I don't know. Is that something that goes along with cats? Like big cat lovers or something? And then it's interesting to me too that they keep on saying stuff like, there's nothing in the world that won't like pull somebody in like a baby cub cat. Like, you let somebody play with a baby cub cat and they'll like want to sleep with you. I'm like, I have never in my life, like, I think they're cute watching it, but like, I've never in my life before I watch a show did I think to myself I wanted to like have a tiger cub or pet one at the sea. I never have. Is that weird? I mean, I don't know. Like, is it weird? Like, these people literally like live and die over these, like, I think they're cute. I think they're real cute, you know? But I just like, I think that the way that they're treated is not real nice. Like, and you know, as a vegetarian, I could go into a long rampage about that, but I'm not going to. But like, and that Carol, she seems like she ain't taking care of her animals any better than the rest of them are. And she's supposed to be an animal activist walking around with her flower garland in her hair. I don't know, thinking she's Joan Baez from the 60s or something. I don't know. You know, whenever you go into those documentaries, whenever you start those documentaries on Netflix, you already know you're in for a world. You already know you're in for a world of weirdness. Do you know that? Like, you know that, don't you? Like, I was telling my friend tonight, who was I telling this to? I've told so many people. I was like, you need to watch that show about the cats, that Don't F With Cats show. Oh, I don't know that I can't. I know I always tell people, I'm like, listen, like, if you can make it through the first episode, you'll be just fine. Like, just watch like this. There are scenes that like allude to it, you know, and I explain the scenes that are bad and I tell them, you know, whatever. And I actually think you can look online and there's like time-stamped areas where like, there's like sites that have like a timestamp where you can watch it so you know like when to like fast forward through it. But like, nothing ceases to amaze me about the world anymore, like, especially from watching documentaries on Netflix. But I've always kind of been attracted to that. Do you remember back in the day, is that show still on? I used to watch 2 shows back to back. I was obsessed with them. I watched that Real Sex on HBO. Do you remember that Real Sex? And I watched Taxi Cab Confessions. Do you remember that Taxi Cab Confessions? Oh my God, it was so weird, wasn't it? And people would get in the cab and they would like tell their deepest, darkest secrets to that cab driver. Who would at times like kind of like, if you got like a good cab driver, is like the one guy that's on Taxi Cab Confessions, or that was on Taxi Cab Confessions, is he now on that Cash Cab show? I hate that Cash Cab show. Do you know what I'm talking about on Game Show Network? I'm obsessed with Game Show Network. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I love the Family Feud. I could watch Family Feud for hours. Okay, I had to stop it because I started telling this story that, anyway, I had to stop it because I started telling this story about a friend of mine. And I was like, you know what? I probably shouldn't tell that story on here. But anyway, yes, TV shows, Taxi Cab Confessions rule. Let's just move on. Let's just move on from all of that. So anyway, but yeah, like I was saying, like I'm never like, I don't know what surprises me more. Like, I don't even know, like, I don't necessarily love the word normal. Like, I don't. Like, I like the word, you know, like I like being kind of like a weird, different person, right? But then, like I watch these documentaries sometimes, and I'm like, do people really live their lives like this? Like, do you ever ask yourself that question? Like I'm watching this guy, like this Joe Exotic guy, and trust, like, I mean, he's way out there, right? Like, he's way out there. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and I'm like, do people like really live their lives this way? And is this like what we're so attracted to watch, is somebody being like showstopper, different, whatever, you know? Like, I don't know what I'm more surprised by now. Like, just people that live total lives of normalcy, of which, because of this stupid true crime book club, of which I adore, you know, I love, I'm joking when I say stupid, but because of the true crime book club, like every person that I meet now that is like completely normal, I think they're a serial killer. Like, I do. Like, if you're too normal, I'm like, what are you hiding? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about things. Because when you read enough true crime, nobody ever knew. Like, they were like, oh, they were just the normal baker down the street. No, you know, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, it's like they just were like really great, and they, you know, donated to the police foundation every year. You know, it's like they were just totally normal people. And then you find out, you know, that they were just killing hundreds of people left and right. Now I gotta lock my door again, make sure it's locked. So I don't know what surprises me more, these kind of like out there weird stories about people, or normalcy. Does that make any sense whatsoever? I don't know. I don't know much, but I know I love you. Do you remember that song? I loved that song in high school. I don't know much. I think I actually downloaded that by, who's it by? Is it, I used to think it was by Luther Vandross, but I don't think it's by him. Let's see if I have it on my iTunes. I don't think I do. Is it called Don't Know Much or I Don't Know Much? I think it's called Don't Know Much. Chris Lane, I don't know about you. No. I feel like I did download that song though at some point. Or bought it, I mean. You know, now I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna buy it right now. I am. No, I'm not. But I'm gonna want to. Don't Know Much. But I Know I Love You. Let's see who this is by. Aaron Neville and Linda Ronstadt. I love that song so much. Whatever happened to Linda Ronstadt? Let's find out. Looks like she's still around. She's 73 years old. My God. How old's Aaron Neville now? Is he still around? He is 79 years old. Still playing music. Great. So cool. Should we read a couple comments before we get off here? I think the battery's probably going to die here in just a little bit. Okay, let's read a couple comments. Oh, there was, I'm not gonna read a ton of comments tonight. Tracy, aka Honey 2, said, Tiger King is cuckoo kachoo. And then she put little emojis of tigers. And she said, but here I am in the 6th episode. See, girl, that's where I am too. And she said, stuff just keeps on happening. That is so true. Okay. Hunter said, oh my God, I just got so excited when Peter read a comment of mine. This proves I'm severely socially deprived at the moment. Maybe the quarantine will inspire me to actually film and post a few videos. You should. Oh my God. And Misha Dawn said, do it. Okay. Melissa said, literally just woke my husband up to show him you shouted me out. First and last name. I'm so excited. This is Melissa Galloway, by the way. Okay, Mrs. Galloway. I'm so excited. Thank you, Peter. Oh my God, you're so welcome. So many people said, go outside, go outside. Tired Mama said, my Amazon list is nuts. I order vinyl, food, inflatable, hippo. That's so like my list over on the Amazon. Virginia said, I'm glad you put the videos up in time for bed. It's like having a sleepover with a friend. Thank you. I don't know what you must be like in another country, because if I put them up at like 1 or 2, they would be up by like 7 or 8 over there. Okay, where was I? Hey, Stephanie. There was one that I wanted to read. Robin said, I actually took a walk around the neighborhood this evening listening to you along the way. I'm going to try to keep it up. Love ya. We're going to try to keep it up too. Okay, Sherry said, I've never... that is my husband calling me. Let me text him. That scared the hell out of me. Sherry said, I've never heard you mention the book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I love the book, but hated the movie. What are your thoughts? I love the book, and I love the movie. I read both. I read the book and the movie. I read the book, and I watched the movie, and I loved both of them. And I love that Lady Chablis, too, that was in the movie. Did you guys see her, like the original Lady Chablis? That's a true story. Did you guys know that? And then she says, oh, in one of your vlogs you were talking about The Morning After with Jane Fonda, who I love, but I would have to say Elizabeth Taylor plays the best drunk of all time in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Excellent movie. I would totally, totally agree. But the, he's just texting me and telling me he's done with his, like, little girls' night out. Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? He'll probably walk out here with the dogs in like 2 seconds. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? It's such a depressing movie. It's like, well, I mean, The Morning After is too, but it's kind of a thriller as well. Like, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is just like really, really depressing. What's the other one? Is it Days of Wine and Roses? That one's real depressing too. To the people that are saying like, and I know that this is like another, just a comment of concern, but people are like, you kind of seem off, you don't seem yourself and whatever. I do feel off. Like, I mean, I do feel not myself, you know, like, these are weird times that we're living in. And to say that I wasn't afraid would be lying, you know? And, the vlogs are giving me a sense of normalcy. So I appreciate you guys watching it. It means a lot to me. But like, at the same time, like, I don't know, like, it's, like, I'm sure I do seem off in some of it. I'm trying to seem as normal as possible because it just, you know, like, I'm just trying to be as normal as I possibly can. But I'm sure I do seem a little bit off, because I feel a little bit off, you know? And I think we probably all do feel a little bit off right now, you know what I mean? And, but we're gonna get through this, which is why I continue to post the vlogs and try to keep it as normal as possible. So where was the comment that I wanted to read? Hold on a second. Mama Oz went into my Instagram tonight. She has the same picture on there on her Instagram as she does on here, and she went in and she like liked a bunch of my pictures tonight, which was real sweet. Thank you. Girl Friday said 2020 equals a year of gratitude. I so agree. I can't wait to hug my parents and my friends and just go out to dinner to have a craft night with my good amen. I agree. Michelle McGraw said, oh my God, you just read my comment. That just made my day. And Felicia, bye Felicia. She said, I had a dance party when he read mine once. Slightly ridiculous sight, if I do say so myself. Well, there you go, Felicia. You get another one. Somebody said on here that if you order from Instacart, you have to pay like a yearly fee. I did not know that. I didn't really look that far into it. Okay, wait. Dave's Bread is what that is called. A couple people commented on that. Where's the comment? Britt B said, oh, you read my comment and sang it just like I did. Dan Levy, Megan said Dan Levy, the son David on the show, is so funny on his Instagram right now. I'm obsessed with him too. He's been showing all his meals he's making. He is so funny. Yeah. Alex adores him. Okay, so Ela said, I had such good intentions of eating healthy during all this, and then I went to the store before lockdown and bought junk food instead. I've been eating, girl, I can't even. Like, it is so bad. I will tell you that for dinner tonight, though, I had a cheese sandwich and whole wheat bread with these peanut. I forgot that I had bought, like, at Costco, an entire one of those containers. It was, like, pushed back because Alex redid the whole pantry a couple days ago. That's my shiz, not a fart, I swear. Do you hear that? That's my shiz. Anyway, well, my sandals. I had my Birkenstock sandals on. But that cracked somebody up that I said that about the chair, so I had to say it again. I'll maybe try to work that into every vlog. That's my chair, not a fart. But anyway, so I had those, like a big container of those, you know, pretzels that have peanut butter inside of them. I was so excited when I found them tonight. But I made this, it was like a cup of soup, you know, like the cup that you put in the microwave. And it was Campbell's, and it was creamy, like tomato basil or something like that. Oh my God, it was so good. And I had it with my cheese sandwich and those pretzel bites with peanut butter were so good. Okay. I love that somebody's name is Junebug on here. I read her comments last night. She said, I'm so glad that you're still doing these. I need some normal and smile in the midst of all this madness. So thank you, Peter. I appreciate you. You're welcome, Junebug. I love that so much. Ms. Mintz just said, my kids are using Zoom to see their classmates and teacher. I think that's what Alex and his friends just used, because it was like several of them. Where was the, someone said, try melatonin, try it for sleep. I have tried melatonin for sleep in the past. And I like it, but I have found with melatonin, like if I take it and then I like lay my head down like immediately, it helps me sleep. If I don't, it doesn't. But I will tell you, the Sleepy Time tea has been really helping me the last couple nights. I've done that. Or I haven't done it every night, but the last couple nights. Where is this comment? I don't want to say what it is before I read it. Someone said Wegner's is now called GPA. Okay, thank you for that. Yes, I've done the Zoom meetings. Why can't I find this comment? But I know it wasn't this long ago. Hold on a second. Is it I just want to make sure my battery's not flashing. Harper said, I've lost count how many days an adult has spoken to me, but today the postman wished me a good morning. It was amazing. It really made my day. Thank you, Peter, for being consistent and showing up. It helps me every day. Harper, this video goes out to you. I can't imagine being alone through all of this. And I know that there's more than just you out there that are completely alone. I can't even imagine. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go back up here. Give me just a second, you guys. P.S. Ty said, Handmaid's Tale is an amazing read. With all that's going on now, I want to read it again, but I'm kind of creeped out. It is really, really good. I can't believe I cannot find this comment. Here it is. Here it is. I can't believe I found it. I'm so glad. This is going to be the last comment. This whole video is about this comment. No. So Philly Young Horse said, it's always the videos I don't comment on when you read the comments. And she put like a two sad emojis. I don't know why, but it would feel so special to be shouted out in a video, LOL. So thankful for you and your videos, Peter. Sending my love and gratitude. Philly, you have no idea how much that means to me. That anybody in the world would care to get a shout out from me just really makes me feel... Thank you for making me feel special today. I really, really appreciate that. And I hope you're staying safe and I hope you're staying healthy. And so Philly, this shout out goes to you. And Philly, what'd she say what's her name on here? Philly Young Horse. I'm gonna call you a Philly cheese sandwich. Oh my lord. Anyway. So anyway, okay. I'm gonna get off here now. I don't even know how long I've been vlogging, but long enough. So, I'm gonna get off here now and go watch some of my show. So anyway, I hope you guys are having, God, can you believe it's Thursday already? I hope you're having an amazing Thursday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. Do something that when you look back on it a year from now or tomorrow or a week from now, that will make you proud. A positive, decision in your life to do something different, like taking a walk, or cleaning something up around the house, or I don't know, starting a book or journal or whatever. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you. You do your daily affirmations. They can be whatever, but these are just some examples. I love you. You are important. You matter. You are worthy. You are worthy of good things. Good things are coming your way. You are talented. You are funny. The battery started flashing. You are beautiful. You are handsome. And you are a good person. And you're a good son, you're a good daughter, you're a good wife, you're a good husband, you're a good spouse, you're a good brother, you're a good sister, you're a good son-in-law or daughter-in-law or uncle or aunt or grandparent, grandmother, grandfather, good friend. And today is going to be a great day full of opportunity. And if you're going to sleep, tonight is going to be a fantastic night of sweet dreams and hope for the future. And 2020 is going to be an amazing year filled, like we read, with gratitude. And things are going to get better. And yeah, I think that's it. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody today and you let them know how much they mean to you. I've been like trying to sit outside and like call several people throughout the day that like I have like my 5 that I call every day. And then I have like 2 or 3 people like every day that I pick up that I haven't talked to in a while that I try to just like reach out to and be like, hey, how are you doing? Whatever. So that's what I would suggest to you as well, And it just be a text and be like, hey, I was just hoping that you're doing well right now. It's been really nice. Actually, I was talking to my sponsor earlier and she said the same thing. She's like, I have talked to some people in the last week that I haven't talked to in like a really long time and it's been nice. So yeah, just reach out to even just one person, And yeah. Because I have, like, my main people, like, Tanya, Valerie, Melissa, you know, like, all of my, like, mainstays that I talk to. But then it's, like, you know, my sponsor or whatever. Reach out to some other people, too, you know, that you haven't talked to. Just go through your phone and be like, oh, my God, I haven't talked to them in forever, and send them a text. And don't forget to practice random acts of kindness. You can do it from home as well. Remember, what's the rule of practicing random acts of kindness? Don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do, and it'll make you feel better inside. And it's about putting positivity and love and compassion out into the world, and goodness in your heart, and goodness into the world. And yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you have watched it this far and you like it, give this video a thumbs up. And please make sure that you're still subscribed, and leave a blue heart in the comment section below. That'll really mean a lot to me. Or more if you want. And if you just put blue heart, I like that too. That really makes me happy. And I love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.